Tonight's game, very interesting, very intriguing game. So many things to talk about, so many players worth talking about as well, for good reasons and for bad reasons. Tactically, very fascinating on top of that as well. But before I break down this whole game, today's video is brought to you by the One Football app. It's my last video for the campaign. If you guys want to help me out, in the link in the description below will be a link to the One Football app. If you want to get to voting, the One Football app has a fantastic voting feature where you can vote for who the man of the match is and players that stood out for you. If you guys want that, it's in the link in the description below. Before I start with anything though, we need to start about the lineup. Now, Eden Hazard didn't start tonight. This will be the most fascinating and interesting debate. Was Sarri in the right, or was he wrong for not starting Hazard? There's an argument that if Hazard did maybe start, there's a higher chance that we could have got a goal. But at the same time, when Hazard was introduced to the game, Frankfurt were very tired. They couldn't run. And what better time is there to bring on Eden Hazard? I'm still quite undecided. I'm sure that as I think about it overnight, I'll reach some conclusive decisions. But right now, I don't know if that was the best call or the right call. But one thing I did tell you guys though, in that match preview, and thank you to all the kind words and people that liked the preview. I'm trying to improve the format. The software I'm using really makes it easier for me to talk about tactics and give visual representations of things I'm talking about. But I said one thing last night, and I said, expect Ruben to stand out today. Expect Ruben to be on point. Expect Ruben to play with sauce. And expect him to have a fantastic game. And to be honest, that's what we got from him. Now, he had a spell for 50 minutes where maybe he was off the ball a tiny bit. I'll talk about that later on because it links in nicely with Frankfurt, our opponents and their tactics, and why we really struggled against them. But I knew from the start Ruben's press resistance, Ruben's ability on the ball, his timing of the run in the final third. I knew that with how we'd play and how we tried to isolate Frankfurt on each flank, there was going to be space down the left for Ruben to attack. And thank God this guy has ability, because if he sees that space, he's got the quality and the ability to make something happen. Now, it's a big difference between Cover and Barkley, because even if that space is there, they're not doing anything. And I'm gonna keep saying this. When Ruben plays a full season next year, the entire footballing world is going to take notice. People are going to talk about him a lot, and he's going to be viewed very differently. For me, he's a world-class midfielder in the making. All it is now is getting a bit more experience and more game time. I think that's that. His game is pretty complete, and seeing the things he was doing today, the way he runs with the ball, his control, the elegance. Look how tall this guy is. Back straight, head up, analysing the game. The quickness of his feet as well. And he's got that perfect combination of the strength with this genius, amazing first touch control. This guy's a fantastic player, and I always knew this was going to happen for Ruben, so I'm not really surprised. Back when nonsense used to be, really in the front foot, where people were talking about him as if he's not good enough, he's lazy, blah, 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 blah. And some people just still don't learn their lesson. Having so many definitives when you don't really know the player, you don't take in consideration context, and you don't even watch a guy play. Sometimes the footballing discussion can be a bit frustrating, but Ruben's just proven that, yes, he is the real deal. And yes, thanks Sarri for using this guy in his best position, because Mourinho conceded their most to jeopardize this guy and ruin him. Mourinho got you guys all thinking, wow, this guy's not good enough, he's lazy. And people have called Ruben lazy for how many years based on what Mourinho said. And Mourinho was never in the right, because Ruben isn't a defensive mid. Mourinho wanted him to play within himself, play for the team, not play to his abilities. And that's how you end up with guys like Oscar. So often managers have hampered this guy. Thank God Sarri came in. Thank God they're trying to play good football. It's our foundation year. Not even in our first year at uni. We're in our foundation year with Sarri right now. Thank you, Sarri, for having belief in the player, working on him, giving him the goals to improve and step up. And this is what you're seeing. And next season, my God, next season, Ruben's going to be it's going to be game over next season. But I've been praising Ruben enough now. I need to talk about Frankfurt. Now, when I did my match preview, I spent a lot of time analysing them. I felt pretty confident, so I wasn't really surprised by how the game was. I wasn't surprised by the first 30 minutes. I explained in great detail how they played, how they like to use their flanks, how aggressive they are, their gen pressing style in that sense, where they like to, like counter press and obviously, go very tight and close to their opposition players. They use that man marking. It was all there in the video. Maybe I might even just cut that part out and release the tactics as a separate video, because I think I won't have to do it again for the second leg, to be fair. But one thing with Frankfurt, they were always going to be a ticking time bomb, because they were eventually going to get tired. They couldn't sustain that style of play. I thought the ref was quite interesting. I thought at times maybe he allowed them to be a bit aggressive, but when you analyse the game afterwards, I thought he was quite fair to both teams. But Frankfurt really did profit from that. They're a team that likes to play very quickly from the beginning, and that's one thing they definitely did. Even though they were aggressive and they battled, they didn't create all the opportunities that their confident 30 minutes might have deserved, but they did manage to get goals by getting our weak areas. Now, it's not the first time that we've struggled against teams that use a man-marking style with strong players. You look at our players, not that strong, all of them. So we're not going to win that type of battle. Their width really took us off guard at times. I thought that maybe Pedro and Willian weren't as press resistant. They were giving the ball away a bit. And they were leaving Emerson and Aspie isolated. Aspie struggled a lot. I thought he came through in the second half in Frankfurt's side, but when they were in full flow, Aspie couldn't keep up with it. He's just not the same guy anymore, and to be fair, it does bring up interesting questions of whether we've kind of overrated him all these years. I mean, we've played in tactical setups where we've been very defensive, where it's been about defending in numbers, keeping our shape and, staying near our goal. And Aspie's profited from that, but when it comes to playing a different style of football where it's about being responsible for what you do on the ball and having to be in positions to demand the ball and call it, we're seeing Aspie struggling a bit, and no surprise that Kostic was the guy to get the assist. The delivery was amazing. And I wish sometimes as fans we can appreciate moments of brilliance from the opposition. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That cross was fantastic, and I'm going to stress that because when you compare it to the quality of our crosses in this game today, oh my god. We can't cross. We can't cross. I thought Emerson was poor. I thought Aspie was useless. Kostic, how many times was he able to put balls in? Quality every single time. He put the ball in a fantastic position where none of our defenders could do anything. And Jovic with a world-class Falcao-esque header. My God, what a goal that was. And I love those types of goals because you can really break them down and really analyse and consider the decisions made by the player. Now, if you guys watched my match preview, you would have heard me say that Jovic is a master at timing his runs and delaying them. He's happily able to just fall off everyone and stay deeper. That's how he's got most of his goals. And, with Frankfurt on top of that, they're a team that have been playing this style of football for a while now. Niko Kovac introduced it. AD came in and continued that and developed it and improved it by signing players. And you can see that they're a team, when they play their style of football, the players completely understand where they need to be and what they need to do. And it's testament, because when Jovic is scoring goals like that, it's testament to the quality of their play and just how long they've been playing this style of football. Now, I know some people will try to blame Luiz or one defender, but this is where we need to appreciate moments of brilliance, because it was the intelligence by Jovic to delay his run and stop there that allowed Kostic to put the ball into him, and it was a world-class header into the bottom corner. There's not much he can do to defend against that. I'm sorry, there's not much he can do. But even then, after that, that was as good as Frankfurt got. Let's be serious, let's be fair. Their pressing afterwards, they couldn't do anything. Now, even during their confident moments, yeah, they were aggressive, they were going in for 50-50s, there was a lot of application and a lot of passion, but if you analysed it, the quality wasn't there at times, and they really struggled to play out from the back. And I'm going to keep saying it. If you watch my match preview, you'd understand exactly why that was the case. And if you watched our match preview, you'd understand why you had to be confident against Frankfurt. I mean, you saw the final 60 minutes of the game. It really summed up everything that I was talking about in the preview, because we absolutely dominated. They couldn't play out from the back whatsoever. They struggled. They couldn't do anything. You know, they were forced to play long balls all the time. Eventually, their wing backs got tired and couldn't do anything. You know, AD had to make a decision to pack more midfielders afterwards, because the amount of spaces we had between the lines was criminal. I don't think I've seen us play against an opposition that's given us this much space before, and it's no surprise why so many guys profited from that, especially Ruben. But this is where things get frustrating. After all of that, after all of the opportunities we created, great plays by Pedro. I mean, he took his goal fantastically well. Great assist by Ruben. Really sums up everything good about our play then, and how we were really having that tactical advantage against Frankfurt. But it's always going to be the lack of execution and products every single time. Guys don't take their chances, mess up final balls, ruin crossing opportunities, poor shooting efforts as well. It's frustrating. It can be frustrating. And I understand too. Listen, our squad, it's not as if we've got a Champions League winning squad or a Premier League winning squad. We don't. We all know that. But you'd like to think with some of the chances and opportunities we created, we were going to get a goal from that. I was really hoping that Ruben was going to score. I really thought that he might get a goal today based on how I thought he would play, but his finishing boots weren't there. Same thing for Willian, same thing for Giroud, same thing for a few of these guys. It wasn't there. And this is where things do get slightly worrying now, because when they get to the second leg, Rebic and Haller are going to be there, and they're going to completely transform how Frankfurt are going to play an attack. It's going to be a bit more difficult in the second leg. I'm hoping that, you know, with playing at home and maybe the occasion being too big for Frankfurt, we could get the advantage there, because a lot of our guys have played in very high profile games before. Doing this in the Europa League ain't anything new. But I feel like tonight we should have killed the game. And this is the issue with the quality of the team, because we don't possess a squad that can kill off games, that can kill off teams. We make it harder for ourselves. I think there's only so much that Sarri could have done. I don't think he did anything wrong in this game today. As I keep stressing, when you play this style of football, a lot of times it comes down to the individual decision making of the player. And even then, even though there was a lot of nervy moments, most of it was on point from some of these guys. But until we bring in the right personnel, make the right squad acquisitions, it's going to be a struggle like this. And come on, we deserve to be where we are in the league, and we deserve to be in the Europa League. So that's my take on that. But you guys, I'm going to keep things moving. I definitely suggest watch my 5 talking points video tomorrow, because I'm going to break down a lot of things tactically. I'm going to be talking about a lot of players. Of course, if I start talking about that in the match review today, it's going to be like 25 minutes, and no one's got time for that this late in the evening. So stay tuned for that. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.